Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome this evening's Master of Ceremonies, nationally recognized comedic talent, actor, and Boston's own Lenny Clarke.
Well, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. First of all, thanks everyone for taking the time to dress up. You really look great. Give yourselves a round of applause for putting the effort in. Yeah, we appreciate it. We appreciate everything you do. Come on in and get settled into your tables. We got a great night set up for you. How about it for the dancers and the DJ? Weren't they terrific? Good job, fellas. Nice to have you with us. You know, I was at Woodstock. You know, a lot of you people. Really? Yeah. There's 100,000 people there. What, are you going to go back and look through pictures? You weren't there. Yeah, I was there. I was at the inaugural, too. You were there for about, yeah, I was the big crazy white guy with the hair. Yeah. I know a lot of people thought it was Biden, but it was me. Well, I could talk all night to myself, which is what I usually do, but we've got to get this going. So if you could just come on in and sit down, say hi to one another. Don't make me close those bars because I will. I will close them right down. Hello? Hello? The sooner we get started, the sooner we can have Steve Miller. You want to see Steve Miller, right? Yeah. Well, I saw him at sound check. He was fantastic. You're going to love it. You're going to have a great, we have a really, really terrific night planned for you. And I can't do anything till I get you to sit down and maybe just make believe. Yeah, a lot of people say, how did they get you to do this again? Well, I'm going to mention it right now. There's a guy who was a co-founder of this 10 years ago by the name of Jimmy Pilata. And he doesn't like his name mentioned at all. But this guy is a true friend. And a friend will help you move. A good friend will help you move the body. Now, yeah, I was only telling that because there's only about 20 people listening. That's all right. That's all right. No, I know you are, and I'm with you. And that's why I'm here. Aside from the fact that Pilata said, are you in jail? I'll bail you out. I'll fly you in. I want you to be here. But all he has to do is ask. I do a lot of charity events, but I don't know. I've never met a more generous person than Jimmy Pilata. And that's with the Raptor Capital Management. But I'll get to all that later. Can I have you sit down? Only because they really want me to get this started. Okay, well, I'm just going to start. And those of you that feel like listening, you can. And those of you that don't, that's cool. It's a groovy type of night. I feel like Mask Yazga, you know. Stay away from the brown acid. The brown acid is bad. Okay. Well, let's go with the script. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Big Brothers and Big Sisters, Night 10. For those of you who don't figure it out, this is the 10th anniversary. Thank you very much. You people are great. I hope everyone's having a good time getting ready to dance to Steve Miller Band. We must eat. We have to eat. So if you could please sit down, we'll start serving you dinner. You know, we need you to sit down. I don't mind if you ignore me. I'm married. It doesn't faze me. I'm ignored most of my life. However, when we have the speakers up, please, for your own benefit, listen to them. They're fantastic. We have a great night. I'd like a special thank you to Jim Rooney from the Massachusetts Convention Center and the Amarac staff for hosting us and providing us with a great meal. And tonight we're here to celebrate the changing impact that the bigs have on our littles. And we also want you to have a great time. We can't thank you enough for the support of the Big Brothers and Big Sisters, especially during these challenging times and how the economy is just in such a bad shape, but we are so grateful for your continued support. Thank you. Yeah, this is important. We couldn't do this without some very special people. And tonight's presenting sponsors are Raptor Capital Management, Josh and Anita Birkenstein, and Paul Jones. Let them all know how much we appreciate them. Josh and Anita, we know you're here. Jimmy Pilata, Paul Jones, you people go above and beyond. Your generosity is amazing, and thank you, thank you, thank you. Everything you've done has helped thousands of children, and we are truly, truly grateful for your support. Also, our event and co-founder, as I mentioned, Jimmy Pilata, and our co-chair, Joe Ayub. Joe, I know you're here. Joe Ayub, let him know how much we appreciate him, folks. And the entire Big Night Committee. Okay. Shh. This is very important because these are the people who prepared our food. Yeah. I want you to hold your applause, but I want you to let them all know. I'm about to introduce a name, the supermodels of cooking. Ming Tsai, Michael Schlau, Seth and Angela Rayner, and Joanne Chang. Give them all a round of applause. They give and they give and they give. They are so talented. And together they have created for you a wonderful four-course meal that's out of this world. And we encourage you to visit their restaurants if you can get into them. They're always packed because they're so great. And the only time they take off is really to do charitable events like this. Once again, thank you all. We're so happy that you're here. Okay, after dinner, we'll have a short program, and I do mean short. We'll move this thing right along, but it's very important. Will you hear from our new president and CEO, Wendy Foster? She's terrific. You're going to love her. And two people who share a very special big and little story to share with you, Tim Dibble and Curtis Blyden. Yeah. We're going to move this right along so we can hear the speakers, and we'll have a great meal. So enjoy your meal. We'll come back. I'll see you after dinner, and then we'll get on with the Steve Miller Band. Thank you. Enjoy tonight. Well. Give yourselves a round of applause. You're all terrific dancers. I think we needed a party. Yes, and I love the boots. Fantastic. Hey, listen, did you enjoy the meal? Why don't we give a round of applause to the great chefs again. Ming Tsai of Blue Ginger, Michael Schlau of Alta Strada, Radius, Via Mata, Great Bay, and another 10 restaurants to be named before the end of the night. Seth and Angela Rayner of The Pearl and The Boarding House, and Joanne Chang of Chang and Flowers and Myers, along with our good friends from Aramark. Thank you, Chef Tracy, and everyone at Aramark for bringing these things to life. It was great. Now listen, I know you're excited about getting to Steve Miller, and the best part is, it's the real Steve Miller. And you say, what do you mean? Well, you know, sometimes you go to these state fairs, and they say, Toto. You know, and you go, and there's no one from the band Toto, and they bring out a dog from The Wizard of Oz. They screw you. Well, not us. We have the real deal tonight. We're going to have a great night. We also have the little brothers and sisters have been out tonight holding signs, and some of the kids, come on up here, guys. Come on up here. You're doing the best. These are some of the kids. Fantastic volunteers, grateful, wonderful, fantastic kids that we are trying to keep raising money and to help great kids, boys and girls like you, who are fantastic. Thanks for being here tonight. We love you. We're proud of you. We're just thrilled. Thrilled, thrilled, thrilled. You're doing a great job. Thank you so much. You guys are great. Thank you. You are groovy. Yes, you are. You're groovy kind of kids. Great. You did a good job. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Yeah. These are just some of the kids we're helping. And we're going to have a few of them speak. All right, you'll notice that after your dinner course is served, there's going to be a server handing out cards with some beautiful artwork done by one of our little sisters. Hold on to it. We'll tell you more about it later on. And you'll be able to use that card to win a chance to have an overnight stay and breakfast at the Boston Harbor Hotel. Fabulous hotel. I was there the other night. They've got a shower. It's the closest thing to having women scrub you down with machinery. So it's even if you're alone, it's like you're not. You push buttons and close your eyes. Oh, God. It's like being back in Taiwan. All right. Oh, a lot of you people travel. That's nice. Yeah. This show is, it's for the kids. I'm here for the kids, and so Pilata doesn't have me hit. But we have a great short program for you tonight. We've got some incredible speakers. We're going to keep it short because we all want to party. We all want to dance, and keep dancing. Those of you who haven't danced, get up. Don't be shy. Come on up, play. Not during the speakers. Wait for the music. But during this very short program, I'm going to ask you, if you would, just to give them your attention. Me, I don't care if you listen to me. That's fine. I love you people. You're great. Everything you do, you're generous, you're kind, you're giving, all good things. So whatever you do to me, I don't care. I love you. You're fine just the way you are. But to make it easier for them, they're going to shut the bars down. Not my choice. Later on, I'll come back. You can get shattered and scream and throw shit at me, make me feel just like I did at home. But we're going to open them up as soon as the short program's over. Tonight, you're going to hear from three speakers, three short speakers. It's great. They're not short people. They're just going to keep it brief. They are Tim Dibble, our new president and CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters, Wendy Foster, and Tim's little brother, Curtis Blyden. This kid is fantastic. He's no kid. He's a young man. Well-dressed, handsome, soft-spoken, fantastic speaker. He's our keynote speaker tonight. He's going to share with you how the Big Brothers and Big Sister programs work to help transform his entire life. He represents thousands of little brothers and sisters whose future are made brighter just by having a big person in their life. So now, let me introduce to you Tim Dibble. Tim is the managing general partner of Alta Communications. He's our chairman of the board. One hell of a guy. Please, bring a nice warm welcome for Tim Dibble. Come on up here, Tim.
Thank you. Thank you, Lenny. Lenny, it's good to have you back, too. It's my pleasure to introduce our first speaker, and it's never easy to follow in big footsteps, and John Pearson, who so many of you in this room know, left very big footsteps, both here in Massachusetts, where he led this agency for 26 years, and nationally, where he was a recognized leader on mentoring and child safety. But the next speaker I'm about to introduce has done that so incredibly well. Add to that the complications of what's going on in this economy right now, and it is a challenging time, to say the least, to be running a not-for-profit program here or anywhere else. In bringing her to the stage, I want to thank her on behalf of myself and the entire board for the incredible job she has done stewarding this program forward. Please welcome to the stage one of the bright new voices in the not-for-profit scene here in Boston, and the CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Mass Bay, Wendy Foster.
Thanks, Tim. Hello, everyone. You look so groovy. Peace, love, and kids. So this is a really special evening. Tonight, you have raised $1.9 million. In this economy and these times, that is extraordinary, and we thank you. This is also a special evening because it's the 10th big night. That's right, it's our 10th big night. And do you know how much money we have raised in 10 big nights? $18 million. $18 million. And do you know how many children all these big nights since 1999 have helped us to serve? 11,000. 11,000 children whose lives have the chance to be transformed through the friendship of a big brother or a big sister. And that's 11,000 children who will be making better choices, dreaming bigger dreams, and contributing positively to our communities. I want to give a special thanks tonight to Jim and Kim Pallotta for having the idea for Big Night and making all this possible. I also want to thank Anita and Josh Beckenstein for being a lead sponsor, and thank you also to Paul Tudor Jones for being a lead sponsor. And thanks to all of you. How many of you have been to a big night before? Please raise your hand. Wow! You are our partners in making our community better. Thank you so much. Now, you know I'm relatively new. Our former CEO and my mentor, John Pearson, created the best Big Brother, Big Sister agency in the nation. I was blessed to work with John for the past 3 years and learn at the knees of a true master. No one can fill his shoes, but I promise you, I will carry on the long tradition of excellence this agency is known for. These are very hard times, and we know you have stretched to be here with us tonight, leading the way for this kind of social change, one child at a time. So I want to thank you for stepping forward when others are pulling back. You understand that now is the time for those who can to give more. Without you, there is no Big Brothers Big Sisters program. And I pledge to you that we will be the very best stewards of your money. We are serious about making sure that as much as possible of every dollar you donate goes to the kids. And you may have noticed an example of that when you walked in this evening. This year, we decided not to have the cocktail reception downstairs. This year, that money is going directly to the kids. And we think you'll agree that the party is just as fun, and more kids will be served tonight just when they need us most. No one knows how long this downturn will last, so we're taking a fresh look at everything we do. These times demand that we work smarter, and I promise you that we will seek new collaborations and find innovative ways to reach children in the inner city, on the North Shore, on the Cape, because more children are going to need our help. We will leave no stone unturned to deliver the highest quality mentoring program at the most efficient cost with long-term social impact on our communities. I know that we're making a difference. So let me tell you a story. We got a call the other day from a former big. He was matched a few years back in the 1980s, but he had lost touch with his little. Today, his little is married, successful, and has a good job. Moments after witnessing the birth of his first child and overwhelmed with emotion, the little reached out right from the hospital. The little called to thank his big for guiding him all those years ago so that now he could be a good father to his newborn son. Recounting that emotional conversation, the Big's voice broke as he said to us, "Being a Big is the single most important thing I've done in my life. Thank you for the work you do. Thank you for sticking by us during this challenging time. I know that you too have been forced to make difficult choices this year. You make it possible for us to continue providing children with friends and mentors to help them reach their full potential." So remember that story I just told you? Well, we've got another one that will blow your mind, baby. And it involves a really cool guy devoted to making children's lives better, and you already know who he is. I want to welcome back to the stage Tim Dibble. Peace out.
Thank you, Wendy. I'm going to go a little off script with a fact that we just learned a couple of hours ago, just to start the evening, and we'll get quickly through this presentation and get on to the meat of what I'm about to tell you. But those who heard Steve Miller in warm-up and sound check said he was fantastic, and he turned to Wendy and Beth afterwards and said, "You know what, this is such a great cause. I've flown all this way. I love Woodstock. Are you guys okay if we play for 2 hours instead of the 90 minutes we're budgeted for?" I think we're okay with that. I'm going to do a couple quick thank yous, and then I'm going to get out of the way. And first of all, I want to thank all of you. There's so many faces here this year that were here last year, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And I want to thank you for your patience, most of all. And your patience because you have paid good money for a table, you've paid good money to sponsor this event, and in turn, you've been forced to stare at me up here in one ungodly outfit after another. 2 years ago, I stood before you in my wife's prom dress, fetching as I was. Last year, as I gave the speech in my Richard Simmons outfit, I could hear many of you choking on your spinach salad as I wore the commensurate shorts 4 sizes too small. It's if nothing else, it's proof that no good deed goes unpunished. This year, I feel like I'm finally comfortable in my skin. I can be who I really am. So thank you. And I want to echo what Wendy said. I want to thank you for being here this year of all years. It's not lost on us how challenging the environment it is. It's not lost on us that all of you have been affected in one or multiple ways. And as Wendy said, this is our 10th Big Night, but we did not come easily to the decision to have this event tonight. We had a long debate, given what's going on, whether we should hold this event. And at the end of the day, we decided to go ahead because it is such a critical part of our budget and our ability to serve children in need in this community that we said we had to try. So we tried, and you answered. So I want to personally thank you. You're going to see and hear in a moment how much this organization means to me and my family. And so given the economy and what's going on, I thank each and every one of you for being here. The next quick thank you is to the Big Night Committee. Paul Denninger, Phil Gross, Jeff Leerink, Marty Mannion, Peter Monaco, Paul Margolis, Frank Petz, Michael Stansky. Awesome job. Awesome job. I can promise you, for all of those who bought tables, I know it's not easy right now to buy a table. I can promise you it's just as hard to sell tables. Fantastic job. This room is filled. We thank the Big Night Committee. I want to quickly thank all of the agency staff. I'm not going to list them by name. Incredible effort this year of all years to put this together. It would be a mistake if I did not mention them as a unit. Incredible job making this event happen. A special shout out to Big Night Chair Joe Ayub. Joe, yeah. Joe, every year this event comes together because of your elbow grease. And this year we're going to hit our budget because Joe treats nickels like manhole covers. Thank you, Joe. You've done so much for this agency for so many years, so consistently. I can't begin to possibly thank you for everything you've done. Maybe suffice it for this year to say I'll finally let you win the 1 a.m. dancing contest. We're going to do one last thank you. One last thank you to one individual whose leadership and vision has created all of this. One person who had the audacity to think that he could and we could create the best party of the year in Boston, year in and year out, and raise the funds that Wendy touched upon. One person who helped create this event, one person who grew this event, one person who in this market sustains this event. And all the while grew this agency and sustained this agency. As Wendy said, we've raised $18 million at this event over the last 10 years. And all the while we have touched thousands of lives of children in need and their families. Please join me in welcoming to the stage and thanking Jimmy Pallotta. Jimmy, come on in here. Look at that. For those of you, this is the beginning and the end of Jimmy's modeling career, all 10 big nights.
Damn, I was good looking there. You were good. Shit. That was the best thing by far.
I open by thanking you for your patience. And I'm going to close by asking you for your patience one last time. And I ask you for your patience as I introduce and share the stage with our next speaker. And I ask for your patience because I haven't had a chance to cry in front of 1,000 people since my wedding when I married into an Irish Catholic family from the South Shore. It's that side of the room over there. This next speaker, you've heard me tell snippets of his story and his life over the years, but tonight you get to hear it in his own words, directly from him. I was thinking, how do I make this introduction? What do I do? And last weekend, I was mulling over what to say, and Monday, Martin Luther King Day, was National Day of Service in this country. It was National Day of Service. And my job here tonight is not to make a call to serve. Not this night. But on the National Day of Service, I was reminded of October 23rd, 1990. October 23rd, 1990, when I met our speaker. Little did I know all the amazing twists and turns and rewards that were to come, and everything we would share together. I stand here to tell you, and most importantly him, that I have received so much more than I have given. We have received so much more than we have given. Myself, my family, my friends. I told you I'd do this. So if you're wondering who are those 4 kids that are running around here without parents, yes, those are my children. Completely inappropriate that they're here at a rock and roll show. But they're here to see their big brother, their hero. So how do I possibly begin to tell you, to tell him all that he has given those 4 children, and that his presence in our house in one afternoon does more for them than a lifetime of my preaching ever will. Please welcome to the stage the person in my life of whom I'm the absolute proudest, my little brother, Curtis Blyden.
Thank you all very much. I'd like to tell you that Tim and I still go by big and little, but a couple years ago, I want to say probably 10 years ago, discrepancies really got out there, and that exists only on paper. As you can see, I got about 3 inches and about 40 pounds on them, so the balance of power is really shifting in our household. First off, I want to thank you all for coming out here tonight. It's truly an honor to have this opportunity to speak in front of all you and to, after all these years, pay homage to my favorite person in the world, Tim. So first, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Curtis Whiting. And tonight I'd like to tell you the impact that my brother, Tim Dibble, has had on my life in the course of our 19-year relationship. I would like to think of this as being not only a thank you to Tim, but to his lovely wife, Maureen, and my little brothers and sisters, Ben, Tessa, Molly, and Sunshine. Sunshine is actually Rebecca, but she insisted that tonight I call her Sunshine. And I think it's quite fitting given the theme of tonight's gala. Today I am a 27-year-old project manager working here in Boston for City Year. Come a long way from being the eight-year-old from the blocks of Dorchester. In the last 5 years, I've graduated from Curry College with a dual major. I've had the opportunity to serve at, work on a presidential campaign, and the great honor to be a Peace Corps volunteer in Mongolia for 2 years. I've achieved my level of success for 2 reasons. First, because of my own hard work and determination. Second, and equally important, the love, dedication, and devotion of my brother, Tim Dibble. During the same 5 years that I've enjoyed my moment of success, many of my cousins have not. Sadly, many of them have found themselves caught in the grips of the criminal justice system. One of my cousins was nearly paralyzed in a gun battle nearly a year and a half ago. And another suffered an even worse fate when he lost his life. I am beyond fortunate to have avoided the many pitfalls that exist for many children in the inner cities today. Growing up in Dorchester was never easy. I faced many challenges in my life. When I was 2 years old, my mother died. And at this crucial moment of my life, my father was absent. Over the years, my dad and I have been able to develop a great relationship. But at times when I needed him most, he was absent. On the blocks of Dorchester where I grew up, the 80s, early 90s, there was a severe lack of positive role models. The role models that did exist at the time were hustlers of many trades. The pimps, the prostitutes, the gangsters, the drug pushers, making the absence of my father at this time even more crucial, and my chances of success less likely. My maternal grandmother raised us, my sister and I, to be exact. This was the only mother my sister and I had ever known. And my sister and I grew up calling her our mommy. When I was 8 years old, my grandmother realized that life in Dorchester was becoming increasingly tough for us. She was an incredible woman. I mean, her virtues were just unbelievable. I know and I truly believe with all my heart that Tim and Maureen had an absolute respect for my grandmother. And my grandmother absolutely loved Tim and Maureen. She thought the world of them. But during this time, she knew she couldn't be a mom and a strong, positive male role model at the same time. It was during this time that my family was introduced to the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. My introduction to my brother Tim, again, due to the age, due to the size factor, I won't call him Big Brother because that's really not the case anymore.
Just for tonight.
Prior to our first meeting, I really didn't know a whole lot about Tim. First of all, I didn't know he was white. I've got to tell you, I think for the weeks that I had known in advance that I was going to get this big brother, had this whole aura just built up in my mind that Charles Barkley or Hakeem Olajuwon was going to come through the building and my career to NBA was just going to skyrocket. So you could imagine my surprise when I got the baby-faced white guy from Wesleyan wanting to be my best friend. I spent a good 10 minutes just looking at him, trying to figure out what his angle was. Once I warmed up to Tim, and I had presented a list of about 50 things we would do almost immediately. I'll tell you, one of those 50 things was we're going to go camping. I was determined within the first week, we're going to like New Hampshire or something. I got real comfortable with the city life, and all of a sudden I couldn't do it. It took about 17 years later when I went to Peace Corps that I was forced to camp. In the 19 years that Tim and I have been together, we've had some incredible moments. When Tim asked Maureen, his lovely wife out in the crowd, to marry him, I had the honor of being the best man at his wedding. And a few years later, when I was going to college, Maureen asked me to be the godfather to their daughter, Molly, who I now call Princess. One of those also incredible first moments is when Tim and I first met. Tim and I used to go play basketball over the North End where you lived. I think I was about right there to his hip. And I wanted to dunk the basketball and couldn't do it. So Tim was quite cute at the time, and he would lift me on his shoulders to dunk the basketball. I've grown quite nostalgic for those days, but at 6'2", 230 pounds, I could really understand Tim's hesitation and not wanting to lift me anymore. Some of the other great moments was when Tim taught me how to drive. Yeah, I'm sure over the years some of you have heard this incredible story of mayhem. Tim realized and you're gonna hear it from me now tonight, because you've been hearing from me, you haven't heard my side of the story, this whole incident. Tim realized what an incredible job he did I didn't call him, actually it was his secretary that called him while he was at a board meeting, I believe, Montreal, to tell him that I had a little problem in school. Tim called me back about 15 minutes later, asked what happened. I had to build up the nerves to tell him that I got into a car accident in my college parking lot that involved several cars that were not moving. Yes. That car accident cost me about $10,000 at the time and days of headaches. It's amusing now, but however, at the time it took me a while to get over the shock and the ego-crushing blow that car accident caused me. My NASCAR days went out the window right there. Once I'd gotten over that moment of despair, Tim and Maureen had determined that I was going to pay back all the money for the damage I had caused. That was 3 memorable summers of round-the-clock babysitting. Quite honestly, this is just one example of Tim allowing me to make my mistakes and along the way teach me the lifelong lessons of responsibility and accountability, which is still something that is a big part of who I am today. I know how important Tim is to me because Tim is the only man I've ever shed a tear for. When I was 12 years old, shortly after Tim and Maureen had gotten married, Tim and Maureen had broke the news to me that they were going to move to San Francisco. I was heartbroken at this time because I was like, well, who am I going to hang out with on the weekend? And Tim and I were just so close to that point that the idea of Tim leaving me was just incomprehensible. 5 years later, I shed tears for a much different reason. I'm sure Tim can recall this with great memory, and it was genuine. As much as I love you and Maureen, I absolutely adore Tim and Maureen, to be quite honest. But I was so sad when they came back home, because I was like, when am I going to go back to California? I don't know if any of you ever had the opportunity to go to San Francisco, but it's an incredible scene. I really dig that scene over there. So I was really sad at the idea that I wasn't going to go back for quite a long time. Yeah, all kidding aside, as sad as I was about Tim leaving, he promised he would not lose touch. At the time, I was a bit hesitant. I'd often been promised by important men in my life, whether that was older cousins, uncles, or my dad, who had made promises to me over time. Some at the time which I thought were very important to me, and those promises were often broken. But Tim stayed true to his word. If I wasn't on a plane going to the West Coast, Tim was often coming to visit me and attend many of my school basketball games. But if you know Tim, you understand that sports is not the most important thing to him. We would talk once a week, and often the first line of conversation was how I was doing in school. Tim placed a high premium on education, and he always made sure, even to this day, that I always got the best education possible, because to them, this is the true worth of a person, is that your education will certainly allow you to do some powerful things in this world. Tim helped me get into prep school when I was in 7th grade, and he also paid for it. And he was about 26, 27, again, going back to this whole theme of the baby-faced white guy from Wesleyan. For several years, I didn't take it as seriously as Tim did. I did all right, but Tim always felt like I had more to give. When I was 16 years old, my grandmother passed away. For my sister and I, this was almost a devastating blow. We were absolutely heartbroken. For us, this was like losing our second mother. This was losing the only mother we ever knew in our life. So when we lost her, it was really a tough blow to overcome. For a bit, I was lost. My grades began to plummet. I had just about given up. Tim helped me to find my way. Tim and Maureen was gracious enough to invite me into their homes during my summer breaks and school breaks. But then again, I would still go back to school either in September or December, and I felt completely lost. It soon became evident to Tim and Maureen that I needed more support to get my grades up. We decided together that it was not my benefit, to be quite honest, that I would move in with them in Concord and attend Concord Carlisle High School for my senior year in high school. They're reaching out to me and making me a part of the family. It was absolutely incredible. I can promise you that had I not moved in with Tim and Maureen, I'm not quite sure I would have gone to college or even had gotten into a college at that point, let alone be where I'm at today. 4 years later, I graduated from Curry College with a, dual major in criminal justice and political science, and I had the pleasure of joining the Peace Corps afterwards. Tim and Maureen were so proud. Maureen made sure she came up and gave me the whole lecture about how Mongolia wasn't going to be like London the night before I left. And Tim drove me to the airport at 5 o'clock in the morning to see me off. I could only assume he was very proud of me at that point. A year later, the whole family came to visit me in Mongolia. A little side note, I'm sure Tessa would love to tell you about her gag reflexes when she tasted horse milk for the first time. The Peace Corps for me was an incredible experience. Not only learned a lot about myself, but got a chance to learn a lot about a unique area of the world that I had not known about previously. Seeing the hardship in Mongolia, and particularly by the children that I visited in the orphanage when I was there, made me even more appreciative of Tim and the dedication he has shown to me over the years. When I was younger, my dad often promised my sister and I that he would come by and visit us. And very often, my sister and I would sit there by our apartment during Saturdays waiting for our dad to come and pick us up enthusiastically. And sadly, quite often, that doorbell did not ring. In contrast, Tim, every weekend, came to pick me up and take me to the movies or take me bowling, take me to his house to play basketball. I can't tell you how appreciative I am of Tim to this day that he never broke a promise to me. He was by my side when I was 8 years old, and he continues to be by my side now at 27 years old. I don't know what life would have been like without Tim. I don't know if I would ever been able to achieve the level of success that I have now. But for his efforts and dedication, I am forever grateful. Tim is my best friend. I can't promise you that every big and little relationship will be like Tim and not mine. Again, I stress the whole big and little. But by you being here, you create an incredible opportunity to connect other bigs like Tim with children like me. I want to not only thank Tim, but thank Maureen and thank Maureen's entire family who've over the years have shown me such love and hospitality. And I want to thank you all for being out here tonight. Thank you.
Was he terrific? Isn't that something? Thank you, Curtis. It's because of you people. That's what you do. That's what you do with your money. That's fantastic. Peace Corps. That's amazing. My family, you know, you get out of high school, you didn't stab somebody, hey, you're a winner. And that was just in the family. When I was a kid, I tried to get a big brother, but it wasn't this organization. I don't think this organization that I went to exists anymore. Because all I had to do was wash the guy's car and mow his lawn, and every now and then he'd buy me a stick of gum. That's why it turned out like I did here. However, this story you heard tonight, we've already raised $1.8 million, which translate into more than 1,200 kids getting a big of their own, and support for each big and little match for 1 year. 1 year, 1,200 kids. That's pretty incredible. Give yourselves a round of applause. You should. You should all be very proud of yourself. And thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Everyone here does. You've all heard a very inspirational story here tonight, and I know it makes me want to do more. But how many kids out there with stories like Curtis who could benefit from having a big brother or big sister? Look at all Tim and Curtis did for each other. For all of those who are attending tonight's event because of graciousness of some generous sponsor, this is your chance to do something and make those people who sent you here proud of them. After hearing about Curtis, is there anyone else aside from me who'd like to do something to help out? Can we bring up the house lights? Bring the house lights up if you could. Bring them all up. I know they work. I saw them on earlier. Yeah. Take those blinding ones off of me. Yeah. And put them on the people that matter. Oh, that's good. Thank you, guys. Thank you. What I'd like to do now, usually we have an auction. We auction off some great items. But with the economy the way it is, we don't want to put any pressure on anybody. What we decided to do tonight was, instead of an auction, we're going to have a supporter match. Now, what that actually means is if you give $5,000, it'll help big brothers and big sisters make support matches for 3 families for a year. 3 more kids, 3 more families, 3 more great stories like you heard from Curtis. And we'd really like to start this off. Can anyone help us out? $5,000 donation. Raise your hands. We have people in the audience. 5,000. If we could just raise your hands. We have people, we have volunteers coming around. We'll do that. This is our chance. This is the only time we're going to hit you up for money tonight. There is no auction. There is no other secret thing done. You don't have to pay to get out. We really, really want to match up as many kids as we can. If you raise your hand, there's volunteers going around. They'll come to you. Okay? All right, listen. How about this? A couple at the table can get together at $500 a person, or $1,000 a couple. A table can sponsor 3 matches. Can we have that? Can we have that? No, leave us alone. No, I'm teasing. I'm kidding you. I know it's serious, but this is what we're trying to do. See, what you folks do is you make it possible, not just to change a life, to save a life. I mean, what you people do by coming tonight already and donating what you have just to be here has saved kids' lives, boys and girls. I mean, you're amazing people just for being there. I love you. Thank you so much. But if you can't do that, we have cards at the table. And if you don't feel like you're raising your hand for any particular reason, that's okay. There are cards at your table. And at this time, if you feel like filling in an amount, any amount at all, then we can do something for you. Because remember, every gift, no matter how small, it's going to help us out. And there is no donation that's going to be too small for us. These kids really need your help. We know it's a tough economy for you. Imagine what it's like for these kids. You know, we raised a lot of money tonight, but in all honesty, big brothers and big sisters had to lay off 30% of the staff this year. We took a big hit, and we're not crying, but we just want to help and keep doing what we do. We want to make sure we can help these kids out. So I encourage every one of you to fill out that card at your table, because there's good news. Every card, you want me to come into the crowd? You want me to come into them and make them feel like worse? Like touch people and shit? Is that? Tell them about the kids? Okay. All right, $5,000. If you can do that, 5,000. Now come with me. Follow me. Walk around. Walk with me. Get these people, especially people that donate and want, get them. We'll put them on. $5,000. You'll get 3 matches, 3 kids, 3 families. This will help out. Now, if you can't, and I understand that, because times are tough. Times are bad for everyone. If you can't, wow, they're shooting at me. If you can't, any amount of money. Hi, Kim. How are you? Oh, good to see you. God, don't get up. Let me come to you. Now, you probably bought like 30 tonight. No. If you can, there are cards on your table. Fill them up. Because no matter what kind of donation you put on those cards, we are entering you in a chance to stay at the Boston Harbor Hotel with those fabulous showers and dreams of being in faraway lands, not by yourself. And we'll pick up breakfast. And if I'm not mistaken, we'll throw in parking. Shit, that's worth $100 right there. So put a donation on the cards on your table with the artwork that was done by one of our beautiful young little sisters. But this is the only part of the night where I'm going to come out and actually try to hit you up for money. This means the difference between, laying off more people, helping out kids. It's a rough time. And you've been great. You've been fantastic. Did you enjoy the food? Yeah, good. Well, you're going to love the band. You're going to love the band, and we love you. You folks are so great. And if we can't do the 5,000, if we could do 1,000, we can help out 3 kids. 500, anything you can donate. And if not, if that's too much, whatever you can give, anything at all, put it on the cards. Who will give me 5,000? It's like they don't think I've asked you. Whoa, 5,000. Where? Right here? I think that person was waving for a car. Yeah. Is there someone over here? Oh, right over here. Oh, look at you. You'll give me 10. Look at that. Zoom in on that guy, will you? That is so nice of you. Thank you so very, very much. Peace to you too, my brother. God love you. That's great. All right, so he gave 10. Can I get 5 from someone else over this side of the room? Are you going to let that side of the room do that to you? No, you're not. You won't. 5,000? Thank you so much. That's so nice of you. Thank you very, very much. That's great. You represent that side of the room. You're all right. Is there anybody else? Right here. Another 10,000. My God Almighty, that's wonderful. That's 6 families, 6 matches. Thank you so very, very much. Back over this side. Over there. Good for you. That's right. And I love the hat. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. You people, I know how tough it is. I do. I lost a lot of things this year too. Well, some of them weren't mine, really, but it doesn't matter. When you lose something that you're using, it still stings. Yeah. And I could do really funny stuff, but I got kids in the room. Hi, kids. Love you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not just your ordinary, boring beggar man who's coming out here hitting you up for cash. No. There's much more to me than that. I'm very eclectic. But anybody else? Can I get 5,000 from anyone else in the room? Anyone else? Okay. Joe, you were supposed to come up and stop me when I bothered them enough. Never saw you bother me. Are you waving? Are you waving for food, or is that 5,000? Thank you. Okay. Sorry. Just didn't want to miss you. Okay. Well, for those of you, all of you, thank you so much just for being here. You're terrific. We love you. Fill out the cards. Those of you who gave those big donations, I can't begin to thank you. And every one of you, you're all incredibly generous people. We love you all. We can't thank you enough. I only hope we have another success story like Curtis that we can all be so proud of, because he's terrific. 1,000. You want me to try for 1,000? Why don't I just get a gun and start shooting at people? How's that? Give me money. Blam. You got to help the kids. Blam, blam. Okay, 1,000. They want me to try 1,000. They actually told me to stop when I had bothered enough people, but evidently I haven't. 1,000 would be great. 1,000? Right in front of me. You? Or you're pointing at someone else? So it's like, I'll give 1,000, that person. No, I know, I'm sure you did. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for helping out. You're a good kid. Okay, we got another 1,000. Any more over here? Another 1,000. 1,000 and, all right. Okay, well, you know the deal. Thank you all. Please fill out the cards with whatever donation you can. And that way we'll draw them, we'll have a raffle, someone will win a prize. But for the little brothers and little sisters of Massachusetts, for all of us here, everyone on the committee, thank you for being as wonderful as you were. You're great, generous, wonderful people, and it's an honor to be in the same room with you. Fill out those cards. We'll have a 10-minute break. We'll tell you how much we raised. We'll have a raffle. We'll have Steve Miller. We'll get drunk. We'll dance. And we'll send you home in a cab. Thank you all. We love you. Good night. Hey, guess what? Shh, really important. Through your generosity, we raised over $100,000 in donations. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You people are amazing. We're going to draw one of his cards right now. Reach down in here. And for the stay at the Boston Harbor Hotel. Is that Sarah? Sarah Moses? Moses Sarah? Moses Sarah? Someone with really bad penmanship but a great heart? Is it by the DJ? Do you know? Oh, all right, Moses Sarah of, 26 Reed Street. Meet us over here by the DJ stand. Steve's going to come out in a couple of minutes. As soon as I get off, he'll be out. Thank you all. You're the most generous people in Boston. Thank you for everything you do. You people are amazing. You helped a lot of kids.